Brandon Laurino, executive producer.
What are you introducing new with Dust 514 at EVE Fanfest?
There's so much new with Dust 514, I couldn't possibly go through the whole list right now, but we are delivering the Uprising update, which we're deploying on May 6th, and now we've announced Dust comes out of beta on 514, May the 14th. But just to lightly touch on the topic, with Uprising, we've done a major graphics update to the game, and that's never happened before in the history of console games, where you've had a demo or a beta or a version 1 of something in your hands, and then with an update, it gets a major graphics overhaul. And not even many PC games or mobile games have done that. Really, that's been the domain of EVE, and we're continuing that spirit of game as a service with Dust. So, graphics updates are one thing, major graphics updates. Accessibility as well. We've revamped some of the menus, like the skill tree. It used to be a list. Now we have this great node-based skill tree that we've introduced. Planetary Conquest, so now a 2D star map that Dust users can interact with to target districts on a planet to take over, build on, and get bonuses in EVE and Dust for what they build on the planet's surface, taking over the entire planet and then going to war with other people for their territory. And that combined across EVE Online and Dust 514 is very powerful. We've introduced all kinds of new drop suits, which is your armor, weapons, vehicles like the assault dropship, new maps and environments, and just so much more. It's impossible just to list it all off. But the important thing to note is that it's all free. There's no DLC map packs that you have to pay for. There's no microtransactions on any of those items that I mentioned. You can get all of that for free.
Speaking about it being free, it's a AAA title. It's a AAA first-person shooter that, when it was closed beta, people made assumptions that, okay, maybe they're going to start charging for it once the release comes out. Open beta, it was still free, and now with this huge expansion pack, it's still free. What is the lore for this?
Well, it's really about the EVE universe and Dust 514. The model of Dust 514 as a product is free to play with microtransactions. So we're really seeing that through, and now with the huge launch of Dust 514, really we're providing an amazing free title for millions of people. And there's been millions of people already in the open beta that have been enjoying it, and now exposing it to an even wider audience. It's just really exciting for us. And the Uprising update isn't the end of it. Just like with EVE Online, we'll continue to provide all these kinds of free updates, graphics enhancements, new items, new content, indefinitely.
So a lot of other games, such as Call of Duty, Battlefield, they have at least one update a year. And with EVE, sometimes there's more than one per year. Will we see something similar on that for Dust 514?
Well, we've already been doing more than 4 per year, and we're looking to make that even faster. People will see that over the summer. We've got some rapid updates. We're deploying so much with Uprising that we know we're going to have to react to it. The whole dev team is standing by, and we'll be ready to push out even more updates very soon. And they're all free. Again, all of this continues free. And that's part of the game as a service that we run as CCP, and it's very unique as a company to provide this level of a game as a service and that commitment to what that really means.
And now with the graphic improvements, and I also understand that you've reduced the load time too. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, one of the other major updates with Uprising is we've revamped the launcher. So it used to be a series of pop-ups, and it used to take about 4 minutes and 30 seconds to get from launching Dust 514 on your PS3 to a gun in your hand down on the planet's surface shooting. Now we've reduced that to 90 seconds, and that's through creating a true MMO-style launcher in the beginning, so it's only one click, you're in, and we've optimized all of the loading around that. And then as well as all of the loading in the middle of the game, we've sped that up considerably. So pretty much loading throughout the entirety of the Dust client is much, much faster now.
How do you see Dust 514 opening up this universe for more gamers?
Well, that's part of the whole reason why we're doing this product strategy, and that's another thing that CCP does very uniquely as a company, is the way that we run our franchise. So just like with EVE Online delivering all these updates over the course of all these years, with some of the graphics updates that they've done, feature updates that they've done, we could have packaged this up and called it EVE Online 2. Charge another $60 for each of these expansions, but that's not our model. And it's the same thing with Dust 514. Again, we could have even called Uprising Dust 514 2, but there will never be a Dust 514 2. There won't be this sort of sequelitis, because that's what we see as running a true game as a service. The service continues, it gets upgraded, we iterate on it, and it improves over time. And that's really part of the core concept to how we run a franchise. So with the EVE universe, we have all of these different experiences that plug into it, which we've discussed at the keynote and here at FanFest. So there's of course EVE Online. That's the legacy. That's the beginning. The spaceship simulator, the flying in space experience. Now with Dust 514, we're introducing the shooting in the face experience, walking around on planet surfaces and going to war on planet surfaces and around planets, as well as conquering and taking over territory and building on it. So what we wanted to do with Dust was really provide a new way to get into the EVE universe. EVE is very famous for being complex, and certainly our fans and everyone here at FanFest, that's part of what they love about the game. But we wanted to create a new experience that's more accessible. And what's more accessible than a shooter in the video game arena? So the way we look at this analogy is sort of like a pool. And at the shallow end of the pool, we want it to be really shallow. We want anyone who plays shooters just to be able to jump in, say, hey, this is a cool free-to-play sci-fi shooter, and just jump in, have fun, and sort of intuitively know how to run around and shoot stuff. So we continue to strive to make the shallow end of the pool shallower, but then, of course, there's the deep end of the pool, which arguably is the deepest of any shooter out there. And it'll continue to get deeper and deeper as we continue to expand on Dust 514 and expand the EVE universe and expand its connection with EVE Online and expand its connection with other products in the EVE universe. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, we showed some things that could become those games someday, like EVE VR or EVE Offline, the 2D side-scrolling shooter. All of these things are what make up the EVE universe product family, the movies, the books, the comics, and that's how we're sort of expanding the universe. And they're all different windows into the EVE universe, different ways to access the EVE universe, mobile apps being another example. And so Dust 514 provides a certain experience and a certain window into the EVE universe, and that's why we did it.